When you're running and gunning, you need a rig that can keep up with you. Let's talk about building the ultimate handheld rig for the Canon R5. Okay, I've been in the pursuit of building the ultimate camera rig for the Canon R5, and it's led me to the inevitable conclusion that there's actually no one type of ultimate rig. We actually need them for different things, and they need to be built and configured differently. Now, last week I did a video on building the ultimate cinema rig for the Canon R5. I'll put a link up here for you to take a look at it. And what I want to do today is talk about building what I think is critical for me in building the ultimate handheld / run and gun type rig. This is something that I need a lot, surprisingly, in a lot of commercial work and documentary work. And while I love my big cinema rig, it doesn't make a lot of sense sometimes when you're trying to keep a low profile, or honestly, when you don't have a crew to support you and you just have to move fast and run and gun, which is what the Canon R5 really excels at. So let's talk about building your Canon R5 up to get you the perfect run and gun handheld / setup. Let's go ahead and look. Now you got to start off with the basics, the most fundamental thing you need, and that is this. You need to get an awesome cage for your camera. Everything on this Canon R5 is going to be built up on the cage. And my personal favorite, without a doubt, is the small rig Canon R5 cage. It is unbelievably affordable. And the best thing, it just has a lot of great features that I think really set a great base for your rig as you go. The first thing is this. It has tons of mounting options here. You can see lots of 1/4 inches. It's got 3/8. It's got a NATO rail on the top, which I think is super, super awesome. And if you look here, it's actually one of my favorite things on the bottom. You can see there's one more screw point in here, and that gives you a double point of contact for your cage. You actually have the bottom screw itself and then the side screw, and that means that when you put this puppy on there, it is on there so solid, it's not going anywhere. It just lives on there like a rock. And one thing I love about it, it's so comfortable. I do photos all the time with this in no video mode. It never comes off my camera. It just always lives there. Now, if you know something about me, you know that I'm a big believer in having one universal plate for all my tripods, gimbals, all that. And that's where my Manfrotto 501 PL comes in. And as you can see here, I got an extra one. And basically, this one just lives on the bottom of my camera because my entire system, I can just pop it on, boom, boom. Gimbal, boom. Tripod, boom. You name it, I can pop it on and it's good to go. I really love this. Pretty much one thing I put pretty much whenever I buy a camera is make sure I have a plate that I can have that on there. All right, now that we put the cage on, let's talk about my favorite accessories to put on. This right here right now is probably my all-time favorite. This is the small rig NATO handle that you can clamp right on there. And I love this thing. It is so, so practical. Couple things about it. It's got tons of places to mount peripherals on there. It's got 1, 2, 3 cold shoes on it. So you can put tons of things on there. And what I love about this cold shoe here in the back, it's got a lock, which means if he slips in the cold shoe, it's not gonna fall off and pop off if something gets loose in the day. It has saved my gear many a times. It's also got a 15mm rod hole here that you can put stuff in there. Just super useful. And what's great about this is you can go on your Canon R5, hook it up this fast, and now you have a rock solid handle. It just feels like it just makes the whole camera feel like a single unit. It's so helpful. You can set it down, run it down, grab. You can put this thing down for low angles, for video. Just a super great thing. Just don't even think about it. You just need to get a rail. It's a handle like this is so helpful. It's super, super great. Now, another part of this that I think is very important for any kind of handheld rig is you need to protect your cables. And that's really where this comes in. This is the Manfrotto HDMI clamp. And what this does, it allows you, it builds right into the cage and it protects those very delicate cables that you come in there, especially that little tiny mini HDMI that the Canon R5 unfortunately has gotten us with. I will say I've had this clamp on there. I've gone on many shoots, treated this very roughly, never had anything break, and I really believe it's because of that little clamp. I think it's like 19 bucks. It's totally worth it because it saves you so much stress when you're out there getting your shots. All right, and now if we're talking about HDMI clamps, we need to talk about what we're gonna run it up to. And this right here, in my consideration, is the ultimate monitor for the Canon R5. This is the Atomos Ninja 5 Plus. And it's a great little monitor. Now, if you have an Atomos Ninja 5, that's another great monitor too. But there's a couple reasons why you wanna make sure the monitor you get for your Canon R5 especially it has an internal recording inside it. And the first one is this. There are some serious overheat issues that can occur with the Canon R5 that are basically mitigated or just completely eliminated if you are using an external recorder. So this right here extends the whole life of your Canon R5 in tons of ways. I've done tons of videos on the Canon R5. I'll put some links up here, but you can go back through my YouTube channel and see it. And almost every time you want to defeat overheating on the Canon R5, it involves using an external recorder like the Atomos Ninja V. The V Plus is great because at the end of the day, it is the newest one. It is maxes out and you can get 8K RAW through the HDMI 2 up to it, which makes it pretty much the custom built monitor for the Canon R5. You can't talk about an R5 Ultimate rig without mentioning the Ninja 5 Plus. Now, if I want to attach it, this is what I use right here. This is one of my favorite little tools of all time. This is a little Manfrotto 492 LCD ball head. It's got a cold shoe on the bottom, and what I love about it, I can just literally screw this right on super fast. It's got a 1/4 inch on the top. I can get it on my Atomos, and check this out. I can slip this right in here, tighten it up, and boom, it's all there, put together perfectly well. And what's great, remember, there's that lock there, which saves this thing from popping out if I'm running and gunning, which could very, very well happen when we're running and gunning out there on a shoot. Now, the next thing I'd like to point out, it's a simple thing. You don't think about it very often, but it is your camera strap. And what I like to have when I'm having a run and gun solution is I want to have a situation where if I'm running around, I have a strap that I know is secure, I know it's on there safe, but I also want to be able to quickly take it off as fast as I can and get what I need. I don't always want the strap to deal with. And what's great about this is the Peak Design camera strap. And this thing is great. First of all, it's a super sturdy, awesome strap. But what really makes this thing genius is how it hooks up. It essentially has a quick release for your camera. So if you look here, I can pop this on and literally this fast, I've got a strap now and it is on there. I have a strap, I can put it on, I know it's good, I can hang it on, comfortable. Literally I've worn this for 12 to 14 hours, never had a problem with it. But the great thing is, if I want to, I can take this and literally, I pop it once, I pop it twice, it's off. That fast, no strap, I'm running and gunning. And where does this come in handy? Well, if you're doing a lot of handheld work and you want that strap for safety, maybe a little rigidity, you want it, but you want to jump over to gimbal, you don't want to be messing with that strap. You just want to be able to pop it off and get on the gimbal as fast as you can. Peak Design, man, I love it. And the great thing too about Peak Design is they have these little attachments. This is how it attaches to your camera. And what's awesome, you can buy these individually. So you can actually buy one Peak Design strap and hook it up to all your gear once you get those attachments. So just a great company, incredible design. I can't say enough about this Peak Design camera strap. You should definitely look at getting one if you want to do serious about handheld work. Okay, and when I'm really doing camera rigs, handheld and run and gun, I want to be as light and quick as possible. And that's where this comes into play. This is a 6-inch carbon fiber 15mm rod from Small Rig. And you're looking at it and saying, how does this work on the rig? Well, remember, when I showed you my handle here, it has a hole for 15mm rail. So check this out. I can slip that in there super fast, tighten it up, and then if I just get any kind of handle, 15mm handle, this is an ICANN one, but I'll put some links down there for other ones on there. If I hook this up, I tighten it up, and boom, there you go. The ultimate little handheld Canon R5 rig. I absolutely love this setup. This lets me go so fast. I can literally, because I have my cage, I can literally put this together in about 2.5 minutes and I'm off and running, getting my shots. And what I love is I've got the monitor ready to go, but I love to do a lot of stuff through my EVF. I can sit there, pop this up. I've got my EVF. I can go, boom, down. If I want to go low, I can go low, pop it down for low shots, and I'm good to go. It's just a really, really awesome little build if you want a simple, ultimate handheld rig that'll keep your gear safe and let you go out there and keep shooting as fast as possible. So there really is, in my opinion, the ultimate handheld rig for the Canon R5 because it just doesn't get in my way and it lets me shoot without having to worry about what's going on with the camera. Anyway, guys, I hope that was helpful. Please, I'd love to hear what you have to say about this. Go out there, send me any notes or any comments down below. And yeah, guys, go out there, keep on shooting, and yeah, I'll talk to you soon.